Howdy, gun people. I said gun people, not dumb people. Somebody said they thought I was saying dumb people. Pretty nice day out here. Wind just picked up a little bit. Hopefully it's behind the microphone. If not, I'm just going to be shooting a couple guns here. I picked this gun up. Buddy of mine found the deal. It's a Dan Wesson, so I've never shot it before. So a lot of times what I'll do when I shoot a gun that I'm concerned about or that I've never shot before, if I bought a used gun and it looks like it hasn't been cared for. This was a duty gun for a cop who was carrying it for, you know, on duty purposes. So most cops tend to take care of their guns because they know their lives depends on it. So they're going to take a little bit better care of their personal gun, not the department gun. They throw those things around and beat them up. But their own gun they take pretty good care of. So this was a personal gun of a cop here in Texas, and he wanted to get rid of it. It's a Dan Wesson. He had it painted green because he had a lot of leather wear. When you hear somebody talk about leather wear, it's from pulling a gun in and out of the holster, and where the gun touches, it just takes off a little bit of the shaving there. So this gun evidently had some leather wear. I didn't see it because it's been refinished. Now you can get a gun refinished in any color. He picked OD green, not my favorite color, but you know what? It protects the metal. If I don't like it, I can have it stripped off, and if I want to pay, you know, $200, $300 to have it redone to my own color, well, then I could do that. To me, it's not really worth it. It's a tool, it's a gun. The price was right, so I snagged it up. Now, with this gun came a couple of mags. So this is a Chip McCormick mag. Now you'll hear people call these clips. In the military, when you say throw me a clip, give me a clip for a 30-round magazine on an M16, somebody's calling them clip. The technical nomenclature, I guess, is a magazine, because this is a magazine-fed weapon. You put a magazine in it. So some people will get picky if you call a magazine a clip. When the dumb liberals call it a clip or something, they crack on them because they don't know the difference. They don't know what the terminology is or anything. But if you're going to own a gun, I guess it's important to know some of the right terms in case somebody calls you on it. But a clip or magazine is what they call this. It's technically a magazine. And different magazines are made by different companies. So this gun, I'm going to just stick it in. That's what I like about these pants with these pockets. It just makes a good little holster. Sometimes I come out here in the middle of the night, coyotes or something, I can slide a 357 or something, my long gun in there, and it just kind of sits in there while I'm running around. So anyway, this is called a Chip McCormick magazine. The magazine in this little STI is a ACT mag, and this is a Wilson Combat mag. So they all do pretty much the same thing. They're all pretty much the same design. Some are different. These happen to have the lines in a straight row so you can see your little bullets. These happen to have them at different angles, and this doesn't have the little holes. It's got little rails. Basically, they're all the same. A magazine consists of a magazine butt plate, the magazine housing, there's a spring inside, and then there's a feeder clip that the first time you load a magazine, that little black thing or silver that sticks up, that's the feeder clip or the thing where the first round goes in. So that's basically the parts. There's usually about 4 parts to a magazine, not that real complicated. People don't take them apart, people don't clean them. This magazine is got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds in it. Could hold one more because you see it's empty there. So it's got 6 rounds. If I put another round in there, you're going to see that hole. I can't press it down enough. But this spring in here is normally this tall. So when a magazine is loaded, the spring right now is this tall, which means that magazine is compressed. Which is the same reason when you put a gun up in a safe or you're not using it a while, you want to make sure that there's not a round in the chamber and squeeze the trigger. By squeezing the trigger, you relieve that compressed spring on the trigger so it's not always holding back. Now, 1911s don't have a spring for this trigger. It's a flat mainspring, so it's not a compressed coiled spring. So they're designed to stay cocked and locked. That's cocked and locked. This one should be cocked and locked. It's cocked. Locked means the safety on. So, 3 different types of mags. Because I bought this gun used, I've never shot these mags. So, what I usually do is I go through the gun, clean it up, make sure it's clean up to my specifications. I look for any obvious damage, cracks, nicks, something that looks like a failure, something that's not right, it's not feeding right. I check for smooth edges, make sure everything's running smoothly. Then I clean it, make sure it's got good oil, and then I like to test fire it. So I've never fired this gun before. I'm gonna shoot it here, see what it does. I got a couple magazines, so I'm gonna shoot out of this magazine to make sure this magazine works and this magazine. The problem with having multiple magazines is when you're doing speed loading and I'm not dropping here because I'm on rocks. If I was in the middle of a fight, I wouldn't care what I was on. I'd drop it and throw in another one. But when you start dropping mags, sometimes they'll get dent up here and they won't feed properly, or it'll bend it somehow. That's why you want to make sure that if you have a mag that ever jams on you, when you're shooting, bang, 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 a jam is mean it doesn't feed. Failure to feed, failure to eject, the gun doesn't work right. And you're shooting a gun that does that, you want to mark that mag somehow. Just put a little mark on it or something. Put different rounds in there, see if it feeds different rounds. But if you have 3 or 4 marks on a mag because it's jammed 3 or 4 times on the range, that's probably what I call a training mag. I wouldn't use this as a carry mag if it's failure to feed a few times. Now again, it depends on what ammo you're using, what gun you're using. Some guns will cause a jam, some magazines will cause it, some rounds will cause it, sometimes the grip fires it. So, but that's just one of the things that you want to check, is whether or not the magazine's causing this failure to feed. So if this gun doesn't work right now, it could be a lot of things. It could be the magazine, could be the gun. It's probably not going to be my grip, because I've got a pretty good grip and I know that I don't cause magazine or failures with my grip. I mean, I might be able to hang it really loose and try to cause one, or it's going to be the ejector or extractor. So those are the primary things that's going to cause a round not to kick out and for this gun to jam. And again, jamming means it stopped. It failed to function. Some people will call, well, a jam is different than a failure to feed. A jam is where 2 rounds go into the magazine at one time, and that causes a jam. And a failure to feed is the magazine doesn't load 1 round at all, it just empties the chamber round. Well, you know, if and buts and coconuts. A jam is universal, means the gun didn't operate like it should have. It failed to put another round in like it was supposed to, and enabled you to fire a second round. So there's something wrong. And then you go through a checklist. Magazine, ammo, ejector, extractor. An ejector throws the round out. An extractor extracts the round out of the barrel. So when this bullet goes in to the barrel, the extractor is hooked onto this little lip right here, and it extracts it out of the barrel. The ejector is something back here, and as it's being pulled back, it hits its rear, which causes it to fold out and then fly out. And it's going so fast it causes a round to fire. So extractor, ejector, either one of those will cause a jam. Rounds will cause a jam if they're too flat, if they're too big of a hollow point. Magazine may do it if the spring's compressed, if the feeding's not right, if the magazine's bent, the slide not operating properly. That's probably not going to be the problem. You can kind of number the things down on jams because of, I'll start putting my earplugs in, because of the way you start marking off your checklist. Well, if it's doing it with this, then it must not be that. And this worked on this. So if my gun works on 3 mags and it only has 1 mag, that's kind of a clue that it's probably the 1 mag. Because it's working on the other 2 mags fine. And if you're using the same ammo on all 3 mags and the same gun and the same person shooting, the logical conclusion is the magazine's a problem. Okay? Now, if your gun fires on 3 different types of magazines on the same round, we know it's not the mags because it's working on all these, but it periodically jams on all 3 of the mags. The odds are, I mean, it could be you got 3 bad mags. You've got 3 bad mags. The odds are that something's wrong with either the extractor, ejector, the grip, something else. So these little, again, these foam earplugs, I mentioned them before. I didn't really go into putting them on. Most people know how to put them on, but just in case there's somebody that doesn't. I've seen people put these in by just taking them just like this and cramming them in the ear and leaving them like that. That doesn't really give you ear protection. You want this in the ear canal. So by rolling this in a little ball in a straight line, you make it very narrow compared to the other one. So now this will fit, and you see it expanding as it sits here. That's what you want it to do. It's going to come back to this shape in your ear. So when you put these earplugs in, put them in right so you don't have ring. Answer that phone. You don't have ringing in your ears all the time. And then this will protect your ear. And again, I use two. I put these in here and then I'm going to put some headphones on. So you can tell this back expanded. If that was in my ear, that would give me a nice good seal in my ear. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that up real quick. When I put it in my ear, because it's pointed, I'm going to twist it. And then it goes in the ear canal, and then I hold it there just for a second so it gets a grip. If I pull it out immediately, it'll bounce right back out. So I can hear the noise going away, I hear the wind going away. You probably still hear the wind. I'll do the other side. Roll it up, stick it in the ear, twist, get it as deep as I can in there. I'm going to hold it in there while it expands. It's slowly expanding. I kind of hear things getting quieter. And now it's pretty much fully expanded, and because of that, you probably can't hear anything. I'm just not talking. You can still hear. I got the earplugs in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot a couple rounds. My art of humor. So now I'm going to put these earplugs on. So now I can't hear anything. I'm going to be using these metal targets here. And one's like a long body, the other one's just a square. I'll put a couple rounds in each of them. I'm going to try to get right out here so you can kind of see my stance and see my movement. Hopefully you can see my movement. I'm going to try to move it a little to the left so you can see the target and me in case I move out. I like to move and shoot. I don't like standing still and shooting. You'll hear the dinging, ding, ding, ding when I hit something. And let's see what this... All right, first I'm going to use this Chip McCormick mag. Again, what I didn't finish was, if this was a gun that I was worried about, what I would do is I'd come out on my front porch and I have a 4x4 there. And if this is the 4x4, I put the gun right behind it and I shoot it. So if this was to slide, blow up, or mess up, then I've got a piece of wood protecting me. And again, it's a square piece of wood. I just put my wrist on the other side of it, and then I pull off a round or two, make sure the gun functions, and then that's how I would test fire. Now, is that the best way? No, probably I should have some bulletproof protection, wear a helmet, and all this other crap, but that's the way I do it out here. All right, right, wrong, or different, I'm just telling you, if you're kind of concerned, that can give you a little bit more protection. Put it behind a wall, put it behind a center block, put it around the corner, fire a couple rounds in the ground. That way you can tell if there's any problems with the guns. You can look at it, it didn't blow up. Now you can go ahead and start shooting and working with it. So let's see how this thing shoots. Dan Wesson, full size. I think he said it was the Point Man, but I'm not sure. I can't read it because he put this coating on it and it's covered it up. So let's see what it shoots like. Not too bad, pretty much dead center. I'll shoot the little yellow target. Pretty much dead center. I'm going to shoot the head on the little white target. I can't tell where I hit, the gun got my way. I'm going to try a couple quick rounds, what I call a double tap. Looks like it's functioning okay. Looks like it's ejecting the rounds good. It's feeding properly. That magazine looks like it's working pretty good. Again, I'm shooting ball ammo. Ball ammo is the most reliable ammo you're going to get. It's round, it feeds easy. If you have a problem and you're starting to do that, checklist on what's wrong, always try ball ammo to rule out ammo's the issue first. So I got 2 rounds left. I'll shoot on the yellow one, a couple quick double taps on the yellow one. And it locked to the rear like it's supposed to. The mag's in the back. That's what it's supposed to do. Not too shabby. I'll try the other mag. This is a Wilson Combat mag. Put the mag in, put it in hard, don't baby it. I see people all the time babying around. Let me push it in there softly. No, that's a gun. It takes explosions. It's tough. It can take it. Put it in there and slam it in there and make sure it seats properly. You don't want that coming out. When I pull this back to the rear, I'm pushing this hand forward and I'm pulling this back. So it's happening this about as much as I move when I load this round. And it's there. Loaded around. I'm going to see if this round works. Pretty quick, magazine worked, locked to the rear, no problems. Not too shabby. I guess it was a good deal. If it didn't work, it wasn't going to be a good deal. And I got one mag in here. This is a ACT mag, ball ammo. Let's see how it shoots. It's one round, loaded, fed, no problems. Again, because I have this in my hand and my finger's off the trigger, the safety's off. Now the safety was on when I holstered it, and when I drew it, I took the safety off. So if you don't notice that I'm doing that, this gun's on safe right now. It won't fire. I'm going to put it in this holster. It's still on safe. When I draw it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, if you can see my thumb, how I take that safety off as I draw the gun. I'll try to stay right here so you can see the draw. So the safety came off as I'm grabbing the gun, I'm kicking the safety off. Magazine functioned properly, locked the bolt to the rear. That tells me everything's working okay. Mag's empty, gun looks good. Reholster that, put the mag back in, get these ears off. Hopefully hopefully you can hear me with the wind. I won't get too many complaints about the wind. Again, those are my ways of how to function. Here's a little piece of copper that came off that bullet. You can see how that bullet fragments and shatters as it hits that steel metal piece. And it just flattens out and goes in a little piece like this. This is what you want flying through the body if you shoot a target. You want it rolling back. If it hits a bone or something, as it goes through the body, you want it expanding. You want this metal brass piece here folding back. And that's just one piece. I don't know if I can find any other rounds out here. I'll show you what a round looks like. So these rounds are flattening out on that metal piece, and this is what it looks like. And again, it's hitting a metal piece, so it gets very flat, and you've got a lot of energy transferring straight into that. When this hits this target, all the energy of that bullet, 230 grains, traveling 900 feet per second, is immediately transferred to that metal plate. Now, you see in Hollywood where people are flying backwards and flipping over, that target don't weigh as much as a person. It didn't flip over. Here's another little piece, and I think I had a couple more. But anyway, that's how I test a firearm, testing out mags. If I get new mags, you get new mags. You want to practice and make sure they work in an environment where it's not high risk. I don't want to get a new gun, clean it, stick it on my hip, go out there, carry it, then I need it, and then bang and figure out, uh-oh, firing pin doesn't work. Firing pin's broken. Spring's broken. Magazine didn't feed a round. Shit, I'm screwed. That's not the time to find out things. You want to, this is the only time that I kind of go don't go to your, I don't like paper shooters. I don't like people that are shooting. I have guys come out here, a couple buddies of mine come out and we shoot, and if they've never shot with me before, they're drawing a gun like this, they're getting their stance, and they're all back and getting behind those sights, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? When you draw a gun, it always comes out fast and it's ready for action. I'm training my body every time I draw this gun that I never draw a gun like this. When I draw a gun, it comes out like this. And the reason it comes out like that is because in a crisis, I don't have to think about that. I've programmed that muscle memory. Now I'm not thinking about it. I know what to do. I can concentrate on the suspect, I can concentrate on the gun, I can concentrate on my target opportunity, I can target my closest target, my most vital target, the target that has the ability to hurt me the first. I can concentrate on all of that and start working my mind on visual without having to think. Get my gun out, bring it up here, get my stance and my grip, and all right, I'm ready. Go ahead, let's get this thing on the road. Don't have it that way, people. All right, so we'll go ahead and end out there. Hopefully that helps on give you a little close up on these bullets on these rounds here. I don't even know if you can see those or not. I got my sunglasses on, so I'm not sure what the picture's coming out. So, all right, in that there on testing a new gun, testing magazines. Talked a little bit about stance, grip, magazines, rounds, transfer of energy, bullet expansion, primary, secondary cavity. Remember, the bigger the bullet, the bigger the cavity. The bigger the primary cavity, the faster the bullet, the bigger the secondary cavity. And we'll end that there on that little magazine right there. So I won't forget to get it. All right, see y'all later.